It's the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Cleveland Browns. Today's game is brought to you by the New Chrysler Corporation. We don't want to be the biggest. We just want to be the best. By Michelob Light. You can have it all. And by Visa cards and traveler's checks. Accepted around the corner, around the world. Visa. It's all you need.
Welcome to Cleveland Stadium for the Bengals and Browns. Sunny skies. It's cold, temperature in the 30s, but there was some rain and snow in the forecast. Not at game time, maybe later today. The key standings in the AFC Central. Now, should Houston upset Pittsburgh today, it opens up all sorts of possibilities. The Bengals and Browns are still alive. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Cleveland Stadium. Len Berman along with Gene Washington. And Gene, to me, the game in a nutshell. Can Turk Schonert move the ball against that Cleveland defense? Last week against Atlanta, Schonert was on fire.
20 of 23, one shy of a record. And, of course, he teamed up with his favorite receiver, Chris Collinsworth. Here, he splits the defense, goes in for 6 points. Schonert said this play early in the game opened up their passing game, both short and intermediate, and they took advantage of it.
Now, in Cleveland, when they say, how about them dogs, they're not talking about the University of Georgia. They call the defense here the dogs, and these guys actually bark in the huddle sometimes.
And I also think they barked at Warren Moon last week when they got all over him. Sacks aplenty here. Elvis Franks knocks the ball away. Reggie Kemp gets the credit. 3 sacks on the day, 12.5 for the season. Third best defense in the league, and they really get after it.
Now, admittedly, when these teams played last time, when the Bengals beat the Browns 12-9, it was not a particularly good or exciting football game. What about today?
Who's back? Well, I think the main factor there was the weather. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I mean, this weather here in Cleveland is terrific weather for a football game.
And there's Marty Schottenheimer, took over from Sam Ratigliano after the loss to Cincinnati. Marty's team 3-2, and they feel the atmosphere better here. And Sam Weich, after the 0-5 start, the Bengals are now 5-8. Here's Jim Breach. He kicked that winning field goal 6 weeks ago with no time left. Ernest Biner on the near side. Another rookie, Bruce Davis, far side. And the Battle of Ohio has commenced on a short kick that'll bounce and go out of bounds, and Breach will have to kick it again.
Well, Lenny, you and I were down on the field a little earlier, and this field can present some problems, particularly in the end zones. It's awfully mushy starting at about the 10-yard line or so. As you can see there, and the footing is awfully bad. Now, I think that this may be an advantage for the Cleveland receivers because they're very familiar with this, and oftentimes they'll say, get down in this area, let's take the defensive back in this area, try to make him slip down or fall.
A home field edge, so to speak. So now Breach will tee it up from the 30. Expect the crowd of about 55,000 today in the cavernous Cleveland Stadium that seats 80. But the early forecast was for rain and sleet and snow, and the day broke beautifully cold. But in Cleveland, they say this is a heat spell. It's up high 30s.
With Cleveland getting the football, the thing that we want to watch early is what the Bengals do to McDonald. Will they blitz him as they traditionally do against the Browns?
Line drive to Biner at the 12. Biner with some running room out close to the 35, and that's where the Cleveland offense will take over. Led by Paul McDonald, who's really come on in the last 5 games. Fewer interceptions, more touchdown passes, fewer sacks. Young running backs, Green and Biner. Rookie wide receivers, Brian Brennan, that's Flutie's buddy. Caught passes from him at BC last year. Bruce Davis, another rookie from Baylor. Ozzie Newsome leads the AFC in receiving. The white for Brian Blados means he's a rookie, but a big, well, that's the Bengal offensive line. We'll get to that in a moment. Boyce Green. And maybe Boyce for 2 or 3. Met on the inside by linebacker Glenn Cameron. That was a Cleveland offensive line. Well, we'll first look at the Bengals defense. They're impressed by the front 3. Cleveland is. Tim Crumrye coming on strong at nose tackle. Edwards and Brown are the ends. Bengal linebackers, Shue and Simpkins, youngsters doing a good job over on the left side. Reggie Williams, leading tackler, outside linebacker. And the defensive backs, Breeden, Horton, Kemp, and Jackson. Throwing on second down, completing, but short of a first down. Robert Jackson supplying the coverage to Brian Brennan, who Brian said he was inspired by Doug Flutie's Hail Mary a week ago. Caught his first 2 touchdown passes last week. Before the game, he said, hey, how about my buddy Flutie winning the Heisman last night?
Lenny, what you just saw is what we expected to happen. Cincinnati came with the blitz on the outside linebacker. Brennan saw it. He broke off his pattern to the inside. McDonald is looking for those blitzes. He's not a mobile quarterback, so he's expecting a lot of blitzes today.
3rd and 1. Browns go from the I. Biner, the second man through, cracks for the first down just across the 45.
You know, Lenny, you talked about that defensive line of the Bengals. Sort of all gets started right in the middle with the nose tackle. There he is, number 69, Tim Crumry. The Browns are running right in his area. He's slanting to the left. Gets his head down there, but is not able to stop Biner before he picks up the first down.
There's Crumry, not well known in NFL annals. After all, just a second year from Wisconsin-Madison, but making a name for himself now. Just across the 45, first down for the Browns. Here's Boyce Green, their leading ground gainer, and scoots nicely up to midfield. Gain of 5.
Well, Cleveland, you know, going with the 2 tight end offense. Now, the one thing that a lot of people don't realize, that an advantage you have with a 2 tight end offense is that you don't have a weak side. You can come up to the line of scrimmage as a quarterback. You can find the strong safety on the opposite side. Then you can go the other way. It's called a check with me. You give the play in the huddle, but you don't call a direction until you get to the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 5 at midfield. Here's Green again. And Green is met over here on the right side of the Bengal defense after a gain of perhaps 2. And this will set up 3rd and 3 for the Browns on their first possession. Ray Horton, the right cornerback, making the stop. Browns come in at 4-9, Gene, after winning 2 in a row. They like to point to the fact that 7 of their 9 losses were close losses, and they had a big win over Houston. The only points they gave up was when McDonald virtually handed the ball away to Keith Bostic, who scored, stripped him of the ball. Defense didn't give up anything.
Let's see if the Bengals blitz. They don't.
For Ozzie Newsome, covered well by Reggie Williams, falls incomplete. Williams put a shot on Ozzie.
I think he might have gotten his finger in Ozzie's face mask. Ozzie's coming off the field holding his hand. If you're going to throw the football, particularly against a linebacker, you'd like to go someplace where Reggie Williams isn't. Paul McDonald tries to get it to Newsome. There's 57. And you can see that Reggie's hand sort of scraped Ozzie's face mask, and I think he got a finger in the eye.
So Steve Cox from Arkansas on to punt, averages 42 yards a punt. He's thrown 1 pass from this formation and completed it. There's Mike Martin, second-year player from Illinois, deep at the 10. Martin, the leading punt returner in the AFC. Good kick. There will be no return. Will they be able to down it? No. Good effort made by Chris Rockins in the end zone. 48-yard punt, but it'll go as a touchback, and the Cincinnati Bengals will start at their 20, led by Turk Schonert, who had that 20 of 23 day a week ago against Atlanta. 4th best passing day in NFL history. Running backs, big fullback Larry Kinnebrew, teams with James Brooks. Chris Collinsworth, the all-pro wide receiver, along with Isaac Curtis. There's the offensive line we showed you a moment ago. Big, massive, second in the AFC in rushing, the Bengals are, because of this offensive line. Kinnebrew, the lone setback. Collinsworth in motion. Look for Collinsworth on this pass. There he is. Collinsworth short of a first down, wrestled down by Frank Minifield after a gain of about 7. Look at the... Couldn't see it from that shot. Collinsworth is down, but the Browns are taunting Collinsworth on the ground. Been some bad blood of words between these two sides, Gene, and sorry to say it, but Gross and Dixon had a few words to say to Collinsworth while he was lying there. Dixon quoted as saying, "We will stop Chris the way we've stopped Tim Smith last week and the other wide receivers." They stopped him there and then taunted him a bit. Sad to say. So while they tend to Chris Collinsworth, we're scoreless, we're in Cleveland, and we're early, and we'll be right back, everybody. Here's the play, Gene. Pass to Collinsworth, who was in motion.
Well, it appears as though the defensive back, I think it's Hanford Dixon. No, it's Minifield. He grabs him around the neck. You see that sort of blow to Collinsworth's neck, and his neck snaps back. But you would think the way he folds back that he might have got an injury to his knees. Let's watch again. Watch how he folds back over his legs. But that isn't the problem. There comes a shot right there, right in the neck area, bends him back.
Look at the way Rodgers comes over. And that's Al Gross, 27, and they start pointing and saying a few words, and Chris is being helped off the field, and he's a big part of that offense. He's winding down his NFL career, going to the USFL after this season is over, and as Al Gross looks on, Collinsworth helped off the field. Now Chris starts to jog over, so hopefully he'll be able to shake it off. An enormously popular Cincinnati Bengal with the fans and the media and his teammates, and hopefully we'll see Chris again. Buffalo looking for its second win, takes the early lead. And Atlanta, field goal from Luckhurst over San Francisco. This will be a 2nd and 3 at the 27. We've played nearly 4 minutes. Kennebrew stopped in the backfield. Big play by Chip Banks. There's Reggie Camp in on the play. So they stopped Kennebrew. There's an argument as to how big Kennebrew really is. Anywhere from 250 to 270, and the Bengals will hurry up and call a 3rd down play before the Browns can make any defensive substitutions. There's the big guy, and he got a 1st down. Frank Minifield at 180 came over and challenged Kennebrew somewhere in the neighborhood of 270, but not before the Bengals pick up a 1st down just across the 30.
Smart play by Cincinnati. They didn't go with the huddle. By not going with the huddle, they prevented the Browns from bringing in their nickel back situation, either 5 backs or 6 backs. Kennebrew, 16 receptions coming into this game. That's his 17th. And in Portland, picking up the 1st down.
You know whose idea that was with that hurry-up offense to prevent the defense from getting set? That was Chris Collinsworth's suggestion a couple of weeks ago to the coaching staff. 1st down just across the 30. Schonert completing. So Schonert is 2 for 2 as he completes it out to the 35. And the Bengals moving a little bit as you see M.L. Harris getting up. His 42nd catch of the year. The 5th-year player from Kansas State. Tom Cousineau on the coverage on that play.
You know, Turk Schonert has been referred to just about by everyone as sort of the Goose Gossage, the reliever, you know, the guy who comes in and saves it. And he says, hey, I don't want to be known as a reliever. He said, I think that I can be a starting quarterback. And I tell you, his performance last week, 20 of 23. He can keep playing like that. He could be a starter for a whole lot of people.
2nd and 5 of the 36. The pitch to Stanford Jennings, and Jennings fights for a 1st down. So Cincinnati doing it on the ground on this particular play. Jennings up close to the 45. So the Bengals on their 1st possession have strung a couple of 1st downs together. Tom Cousineau again on the stop.
Against a good defense. The Browns coming into this game, the 3rd best defense in the league. There you see the Brown head coach Marty Schottenheimer, Sam White in the parsley. These two teams now are very similar. When the season started out, the Browns are sort of a go-for-broke team on offense. They become much more conservative on offense, trying to win with their defense.
Jennings again, the 2nd man through on the I formation. Some good faking the backfield. Eddie Johnson making the tackle. So going right at this Cleveland defense, which, as you mentioned, one of the top-ranked defenses in football.
Yeah, but you talked about the offensive line of the Bengals, big and strong. There's number 51, Eddie Johnson. He's not a big man, only about 218, but very active. Number 2 tackle on the team, tackles in terms of numbers, 113 tackles, and he is very active. A fellow his size usually plays outside, but he's inside for the Browns.
2nd and 5 from the 49. Schonert lots of time. Looks like it passed through James Brooks before he could get a hand on it, and fell incomplete. But I saw Brooks kind of grasp at the ball, and there was nothing there but air. And this will set up 3rd and 5.
I think James was thinking about what he was going to do after he caught the ball and forgot to catch it. Went right through his hands, wide open over the middle.
See why Schonert did so well last week. He's getting the protection. His guys are open. This is with Collinsworth out now on this series.
The important thing, though, is that his offensive line is enabling them to run the ball. Then he can go play action, fake the run, drop back. That gives him a lot more time to throw the ball.
He's going to throw it here on 3rd and 5.
Offsides against the Browns.
3 down for Schonert. Schonert will run it, and Schonert with plenty of room, a first down, and he snakes down at the 35. A good run by Turk Schonert. The Bengals are moving, and they will decline the penalty. Chris Rockins finally made the tackle.
Offside, number 78, defense, declined, first down.
Well, Lenny, that just goes to show you that what Marty Schottenheimer, you know, when he told us before the game, when we said, what are you concerned about in terms of the Bengals, he said, I'm concerned about Collinsworth. I'm concerned about Schonert's mobility.
Right.
He said he can really hurt you scrambling around, and he did it on that play.
17-yard pickup for Turk. First down at the Cleveland 35. Here's Jennings again. And again with running room. He's finally bumped, but picks up a good 3 yards on the play. All right, let's check in with NFL 84 in New York. Thank you, Bill. If I'm not mistaken, that day, he ran 144 yards, the rookie for Notre Dame. So he enjoys playing against the Colts. Here, pick up a 3, 2nd and 7 at the 32 for Turk. You know, that's his real name, Turk. It's not a nickname, given name. Another good run. And I'll tell you, they're moving the ball nicely on the ground, each time picking up 2, 3 yards. Again, it's Stanford Jennings. This will set up 3rd and maybe 5, but they're not shutting them down at the line of scrimmage.
Again, they're going without a huddle on 3rd down, not allowing the Browns to bring in their fifth defensive back.
3rd and 5 at the 30. Again, plenty of time. Completes it to Steve Kreider for another Bengal first down. Just his 7th catch of the year, but Kreider in there for his injured buddy, Chris Collinsworth. And the Bengals continue to march. They're at the 21. Their 4th first down of the series.
What we see here is the tail end of the play, but what made this play, in addition to this really fantastic catch by Steve Kreider, is that Turk Schonert, he dropped back. He wanted to throw the ball out to the flat, as we watch from the secondary point of view here on the sideline. Here you see number 86, great catch. But this was a secondary receiver, and Schonert had the time to look, come back to secondary receiver and get the completion.
Charles Alexander, more running room. The Brown defense cannot stop the Bengals on this march, which began relentlessly at their own 20. Right now, they're at the 15.
But they're playing against a very stingy defense in terms of number of touchdowns. Oh, Pittsburgh over Houston, 3-0 first quarter.
That's the game both these teams are very interested in. Cowboys in the dogfight with a lead. 49ers.
Cleveland has only given up 19 touchdowns. That's the fewest number of touchdowns in the NFL.
2nd and 3 at the 15. Touchdown. A smart Bengal drive that lasted 80 yards, and the Bengals fans that have come up the highway from Cincinnati are excited by Stanford Jennings' 2nd professional touchdown. Rookie out of Berman.
They say that this Bengal team is getting more familiar with Sam Wyche's offense. Out in San Francisco, where Bill Walsh is, where Wyche was, this is the kind of play that you would see out there. This is what they're getting more accustomed to now, getting the football to their running backs and passing situations at tight end and Collinsworth when he's in there. But more importantly, getting the ball out to a halfback who has the niftiness once he catches that ball to evade the defender.
Breach hasn't missed an extra point all season. Doesn't miss one here either. So with 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining, first quarter, the Bengals move on top against that Browns defense.
Basically, this is a long handoff to Stanford Jennings. Get it to a back who can run outside where he doesn't have a lot to get through. Uses his quickness, gets into the end zone against a very good defense. We'll be back.
Here's how the 80-yard drive finished up. Took over 6 minutes. Stanford Jennings, the rookie from Furman, drafted on the 3rd round. 15 yards for the touchdown, and the Bengals have struck the first blow in this Battle of Ohio. Breach kicks it away. And this is Davis at the 6. Davis brought down just across the 15. Good tackle turned in by Don Kern. So it's 7-0 Bengals. The Browns will start one more time, but before they do, we'll take a timeout. We'll be back to Cleveland Stadium in just a minute, everybody. Schonert's just his 6th start in 5 years, making the most of it. Kenny Anderson is healthy again, but Schonert's got the job, at least for today. Maybe for more. First down from the 17. Hoist Green. So Cleveland giving up the touchdown and now starting deep in their own territory with 5 minutes remaining first quarter, Gene.
Starting on their own 17, and Marty Schottenheimer had talked about the play of his special teams, and he was a special teams player. That's certainly not the way he wants to see his offense start on a kickoff return at the 17. You want to get out at least past the 20. So the Bengals are starting off their defense anyway. You know, they've got the Browns in a hole, and they seem to be swarming. They seem to be more up at this point in the game.
2nd and 7 at the 20. Throwing for Brennan. First down. So Brennan said he was inspired to his 2 touchdown catches a week ago by Doug Flutie's Hail Mary. Let's see how inspired he is today over the Heisman Trophy Award last night. Ron Simpkins making the tackle. First down.
Well, having been a receiver in the NFL for 11 years, I can tell you one thing, Letty. You don't want to catch too many passes of that type. Brennan has caught 2 of those quick slant ends. Pretty soon, those safeties, those weak and strong safeties, are going to get a beat on them.
Fake draw to Finer, wide open. Ozzie Newsome, but couldn't keep his footing. And what could have been a big gainer is stopped by his own momentum after about a 5-yard gain.
There's Marty with the glasses on the sidelines. Looks like he's about 25 years old.
Right.
Still an awful lot of enthusiasm. I had the pleasure of working with him in Detroit when he was there as an assistant with Monty Clark.
2nd and 5 at the 35. Both Whites and Schottenheimer, young-looking head coaches. Now the play they faked before is stopped for maybe a gain of a yard. Ernest Biner. This telecast, presented by authority of the National Football League, it is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Cleveland Browns, the National Football League, is prohibited. This is Len Berman along with Gene Washington at Cleveland Stadium. 3 minutes remaining, first quarter. Bengals lead at 7-0. You look at this big stadium. I think of Art Modell, owner of the Browns, and his double headers he used to run in preseason games. Remember those double headers throughout the 60s? 88,000 people for doubleheader football in preseason. A lot of people forget that. 3rd and 5 at the 36.
The Browns are in a shotgun. That's something new the last 3 or 4 weeks for them.
Beecher has room. Yes, sir. Beecher into Cincinnati territory as he really worked Ray Horton, and now a flag is thrown on the play. Beecher was wide open.
I think it's going to be a roughing penalty against the Bengals. Probably hitting Beecher out of bounds. Unnecessary roughness. Face mask.
Number 20, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
So Jerry Markbright, our referee, making the call.
Ricky Beecher using his speed to back up Ray Horton. When Ray finally catches up on the sidelines, he grabs a face mask. Only 5 yards on this penalty because they say it's incidental. Wasn't intentional, but nonetheless guilty, and another 5 yards tacked on.
Counting the penalty, a 27-yard pickup. First down at the Cincinnati 38. The Browns are moving. Hoist Green has running room inside the 35, down close to the 32. So the Browns offense is saying take that to the Bengals defense after Cincinnati did the same to the Cleveland defense moments ago. Ross Browner making the tackle.
Plenty, a very interesting statistic. The first 8 games of the season for the Browns, McDonald had 4 touchdown passes and 14 interceptions the first 8 games. The last 5 games, 8 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions. Big turnaround. They've changed the philosophy of their offense in terms of their passing game. Much more conservative. Let their defense play. Don't get the big turnover.
2nd and 4 at the 32. Newsome wide open. Down inside the 15. McDonald's picking them apart, Gene.
A couple of weeks ago, McDonald said he needed some passes that would boost his confidence, and they went to the shorter passing game, and it certainly seems to have paid off.
These guys were wide open.
Wide open on that play underneath the covers and made a really good catch. Watch the catch that he makes. The footing is not the best down here. You can see it's a little sloppy. Watch how he reaches up. Nice catch going across the middle. And as you said, he is wide open there.
Look for feature on the near side. They're working that wet end of the field, Gene. Boyce Green straight ahead down to the 10. This is the end of the field we talked about earlier. It's wet. It's mushy. Here's where you feel the wide receiver has the advantage, knowing that at this end of the field.
You know, Lenny, when you have a tight end like an Ozzie Newsome, this is a great place to throw him the football. He has an advantage over a wide receiver in that being sort of in the middle of the field, he has more room to operate. So I would think that he's a person that they would want to go to if they throw the ball.
2nd and 6 at the 10. Boyce Green keeps it on the ground and fights close to the 6. And depending how well, now we have the clock stopped. Just 19 seconds remain first quarter. Horton and Cameron in on the tackle. Right now the ball is sitting at the 6 or at second base in the baseball configuration here at Cleveland Stadium. And now with the clock running, we will not get off another play. Fans at the far side happy because now the Browns will be driving straight into their end of the field. It's 7-0 Bengals. First quarter is history, but as we start the second quarter, the Browns are in business looking to tie the game up. 7-0 Bengals after one. It's been a big Brown drive. And it's going to be 3rd and 2 at the 6. Now they've run Boyce Green twice in a row on the ground. What do you think, Gene?
Well, your guess is as good as mine, but I think I would be inclined to think they keep it on the ground.
Got 3 tight ends in there. Oh, they did. Boyce Green a 3rd time. I don't see a flag despite the movement. Guy Frazier on the tackle. This sets up a field goal try. As Matt Barr comes on. Pittsburgh still leading at 3-0. Ooh, look at that one. That might damage New England's playoff hopes. And Buffalo opens it up over Indianapolis. So Barr likes kicking at this end. He does not like the mushy closed end, likes the open end. He's hit 7 straight field goals now. And this try will be a 25-yard attempt. It's good. So the long drive, and the Browns keep it conservative on 3rd down. They're stopped by the Bengal defense, and they settle for a field goal. Second half of the doubleheader. And so the coaching wheels turn over a conservative Cleveland attempt on 3rd down with sure footing at that end. They had to settle for 3. So it's 7-3, and Stanford Jennings at the 1 for Cincinnati. And good running room across the 30. So the Cincinnati Bengals, who have had the ball just once today, will have it a second time here to start the second quarter. Next Saturday, it's the Hoosiers battling the Wildcats. College hoops coming. So first minute of the second quarter, Bengals leading the Browns 7-3. They'll start at the 32, and Chris Collinsworth remains on the sidelines, waiting word on the nature of his injury. But Steve Kreider is flanked out to the far side in Chris's place. Good protection. And Kinnebrew fights out to the 37. Awfully tough to bring down, the big guy is, but Tom Cousineau finally did it after a pickup of about 5.
You know, Lenny, you mentioned that Kreider, Steve Kreider, taking the place of Chris Collinsworth, number 86. Let's watch him, see how he does on this play. He only had 6 receptions coming into this game. They don't throw an awful lot to the wide receivers other than Collinsworth. Collinsworth coming in with 61. M.L. Harris, a tight end, was the second leading receiver with 41. But Kreider may have to do an awful lot today.
And Jennings is stopped. Good tackle made by Eddie Johnson. All right, let's check in again with NFL 84. Joe Dufek of Yale. Thank you, Bill. 3rd down play. Wide open is Kreider into Cleveland territory, and the offenses are having a field day this afternoon at Cleveland Stadium thus far. Working against Hanford Dixon on that play. And Johnson is down, the linebacker. Let's check it.
Eddie Johnson. He is out. I think what happened is that there's a collision. Kreider's going to catch the ball, and I think there's a collision with Eddie Johnson, number 51, and one of his own men. Let's see. Yeah, I think he gets his head.
You might be right with Hanford Dixon.
Yeah, I think he might have. Let's take another look at Eddie Johnson, number 51. I think he goes to put his head down to make the tackle, and I think he hits Hanford Dixon around about the knee. Oh, right on the shoulder there.
So Eddie Johnson is down, and while he is tended to, we'll take a commercial timeout with the Bengals leading the Browns. There's Eddie Johnson just now getting up, and Gene, why are the wide receivers? I mean, these guys are wide open. These aren't close catches.
Well, some of them have been in between the different zone coverages. On this particular play, this is a zone coverage. Eddie Johnson trying to get back into the area. Kreider was, you know, he had a lot of room there in front of Hanford Dixon.
Scott Nicholas takes over the linebacking spot. Larry Brazil is in at left cornerback for Frank Minifield. This is first down for Cincinnati at the Browns 46. Pitch back to Jennings. They stopped that one after a gain of about a yard. Chip Banks from USC getting his number called defensively this afternoon. Schonert's pretty impressive. At one point this year he was third-string quarterback behind Anderson and Boomer Esiason, but you know, John Elway isn't the only quarterback that's come out of Stanford.
Benny, we've just gotten word that Frank Minifield has a problem with his hamstring, which evidently he's had some problems with it before. That's why Larry Brazil is playing in his place.
2nd and 9 at the 45 as Schonert points directions to his backfield. Kinnebrew. And now the Cleveland defense is doing better against the rush, which will force Schonert to put it up here on 3rd and long. Dixon up to make the tackle. Battle of New York, which ironically takes place in New Jersey, is scoreless in the 2nd quarter, and the Battle of the Bays today. We got the Battle of Ohio, the Battle of New York, and the Battle of the Bays around the National Football. I wonder if they planned it that way. This is 3rd and 9. 4 down linemen in for the Browns. They got a pass rush here.
They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defensive backs.
They know they're going to throw. Let's see if the rush is on. They don't get to him, and Kreider juggles it and hangs on at the 25. A terrific catch by Steve Kreider, who's already caught his third as many balls today as he's caught the entire season to this point with the injury to Collinsworth.
Watch number 94. That's Elvis Franks. He's a big sack man, but Anthony Munoz does a job on him. Schonert gets the ball to Kreider. Take a look from the end zone. Good catch from Steve Kreider. There it is, coming into the game. 6 receptions. Picking up the slack from Chris Collinsworth, who's gone out.
That's his 3rd catch today, so half as many catches today as the previous games. 6 for the season. Charles Alexander picks up 1 or 2. Kreider had a stress fracture of the foot in training camp. And when he caught a ball against Atlanta last week, it was Kreider's first catch in 8 weeks. And now with the early injury to Collinsworth, we're still trying to find out what the exact nature of the injury is to Chris Collinsworth. Eddie Johnson's back in the lineup now for Cleveland.
Both of these teams have been very impressive in terms of their offenses, getting the football on one end of the field and moving it all the way down. The Bengals, only their 2nd possession, they moved the football right down the field, eating up the clock.
2nd and 8 at the 23. Gross intercepts Schonert. And that's one way to stop the pass. Gross turns in his 5th interception of the year. Last week against Houston, he was breaking in the free for a touchdown, and a lineman caught him.
He makes a beautiful play on this. Look at that. Steps right in front of M.L. Harris. Almost got the interference, but comes up with an interception. Nice play by Gross.
The turnover stops the Bengals. Chris Collinsworth, the man in the middle, he was hit pretty hard on the first play of the game, and no specific injury. He was just shaken up, and hopefully we'll see him again before the day is out. First down after the turnover for the Browns at their 25, an important turnover as the Bengals were marching. Blitz. Newsome out to the 33. Bobby Kemp covering. So there's Al Gross, the man who created the turnover, but Ozzie Newsome has caught a ball now in 80 straight games. #1 receiver in the AFC, and of course the all-time leading Cleveland receiver, the Wizard of Oz, with a pickup of 9 yards on the play. Houston ties up Pittsburgh. They're doing scoreboard watching today. 2nd and 1 at the 34 for the Browns. Boyce Green gets the first down. Ron Simpkins, the left inside linebacker, finally brought him down. So the Browns pick up another first down. You know what I found interesting in the last drive was the Browns shut down the Cincinnati rush. Finally forced them to throw the pass, and that's where Al Gross made the interception. So I think the defense against the run helped set that up, Gene.
But usually what happens, the defensive line and linebackers, they start to adjust to the blocking patterns of the other team. So as the game draws on, they tend to get a little better against the rush.
First down, throwing. Newsome. That's a pickup of 3 as Ozzie heads out of bounds as he's watched closely by Jeff Shue, the left outside linebacker. This will set up 2nd and 7 at the 40.
Watch number 57, Reggie Williams for the Bengals. He almost gets there. You see Ozzie Newsome coming across, Reggie chasing. He is a real leader on this defensive team. Leads the team in tackles at 75. Leads the team in sacks with 8. Has 2 interceptions on the season.
Another
phenomenal athlete.
Yeah, another Ivy Leaguer from Dartmouth. We mentioned Joe Dufek from Yale, playing a quarterback today from Buffalo. 2nd and 7 at the 40. Completion to Ricky Feature with Breeden covering. So Feature and Kreider, a couple of veteran receivers on both these squads, getting workouts today. Best action they've had this season for either of them.
Breeden was chasing Feature all the way across the field, and Feature's a little too quick though. Louis not slow, but he got a nice pass from McDonald. There wasn't much that Breeden could do about it. Had man-to-man coverage.
Sam White urging on his defense. First down now at midfield. McDonald, 8 of 9 passing for 83 yards. Green, and straight ahead for 3 yards. All right, let's check in again with NFL 84 in New York. Oh, that's right. We knew Schonert was from Stanford. There is another one in the league.
There he is.
Elway with Denver, right?
Few Stanford quarterbacks have played in this league.
2nd and 7 from the 47. Of course, my partner Gene Washington, Stanford All-American as well. Oh, that one was knocked down smartly by John Simmons, who I don't think he saw the ball coming. I think Gene just reached out and knocked the ball down without realizing where it was.
I agree with you. Of course, if you're a defensive back and you're guarding Ozzie Newsome, you want to make sure you keep one eye on him. And you're right, he's right there and just bats it away with his left hand, but he has that right hand on Ozzie's back just in case he misses it. Doesn't want to let Ozzie, the Wizard, get away. Bobby Kemp trying to get his group in the defensive secondary boosted up. What a good athlete he is. They were glad to see him come back a few weeks ago from an injury.
Indianapolis, 2 points. All right, 3rd and 7 at the 47. 3 wide receivers now in for the Browns. The knock on McDonald was he wasn't that mobile. Well, he showed some mobility there in the pocket, not getting the defensive pressure. And there he went to Ricky Feature for his 3rd reception, and Bobby Kemp covering again.
The key here is the offensive line forces the defensive rush outside. McDonald goes up the middle, but you can see he had a lot of room to run. He is not thinking about running. He is not fleet of foot, but here's a man who is fleet of foot. Ricky Feature gets the ball to him, and they get down to about the 24-yard line, knocking on the door.
Feature, 3 catches for 54 yards already. We have less than 6 minutes remaining. First half. The Bengals leading the Browns 7-3, and McDonald from the shotgun. Whoa, they hiked it to the up back, Boyce Green, and he picks up a couple of yards on the tricky play. Ron Simpkins covering.
We ran that play in flag football in high school. Yeah, snap it to the fullback.
Well, getting a little bit fancy there when they were a bit conservative the last time they were down at this end of the field. Pickup of, call it 3 and call it 2nd and 7 now at the 21.
This is a good place to throw the football because the closer you get to that goal line, that field shrinks. Nice place to throw it here, particularly someone like Ozzie Newsome.
Oh, yeah. Beecher at this side and Brennan the other way, and let's see who they go to. Looking for Brennan on the out pass, and he's got it. No, it's ruled out of bounds on the far side. Incomplete with Ray Horton covering Brennan.
Paul McDonald, being a left-handed quarterback, when he drops back, this is the place that he can see first to the left side. He had Brennan man-on-man with Ray Horton, and Brennan ran a good route. Well, you know, even from this angle, which is not a good angle, it was tough to see, but it was close. Almost got that second foot in.
Looked like the second foot may have picked up chalk. So 3rd and 7 at the 21. 3 wide receivers in there again.
Will the Bengals blitz?
Now the shotgun. For Brennan, he's got it this time. Touchdown, Browns. When his teammate at Boston College, Doug Flutie, won the Heisman Trophy last night, he said, hey, how about my buddy? And he seems to be inspired the second week in a row now. The inspiration from Doug Flutie of Boston College, and results in Brian Brennan's 3rd career touchdown in 2 weeks.
I would imagine the Bengals are saying, who is this guy? You know, it's like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
And Matt Barr tacks on the 10th point. So, set up by the Al Gross interception, McDonald drives him down and completes it on 3rd down to Brian Brennan of Boston College. The Cleveland Browns take the lead in the Battle of Ohio, 10-7. This is 21 yards, Gene, and a beautiful grab by Brennan.
And a beautiful throw by McDonald.
Right past the outstretched arms of Louis Breeden.
Goes down and does the splits.
10-7 Cleveland, 4:52 remaining in the half. Stanford Jennings at the 10. And Jennings gets up to the 24. So with 4:42 remaining, the Bengals will take over, and one more look.
It was so nice. Look at the throw. Throws it over Louis Breeden. And watch how he makes sure he gets his legs down before he gets out of bounds. Brian Brennan has really come on as a terrific wide receiver. Watch that.
That's a shot of Chris Collinsworth being wheeled off the field a few moments ago. So he was shaken up on the first play of the game. They said it was nothing specific, but we will find out. First down for Cincinnati at the 24. When these teams played 6 weeks ago, neither team scored a touchdown. Now in the first half of the rematch, they each have one. Alexander. Good rush to the outside. You can hear the bodies hitting down on the sidelines. Clock continues to run with 4.5 minutes remaining first half.
There's a touchdown again. A thing of beauty from that man with his helmet off, Brian Brennan. You know, he reminds me of Steve Largent, even the way he runs. Nice quickness, good body control, and outstanding hands. 2 touchdowns last week.
Right. Word is they are x-raying Chris Collinsworth's left ankle. 2nd and 1 now for Cincinnati at the 33. Pitch back to Brooks. By Hanford Dixon, and he loves to put on a show. He leads the cheers over in the far end zone. He's quite a hot dog, this guy, Dixon. He says straight out, hey, I should be in the Pro Bowl. He doesn't pull any punches. I like players like that who say what they think.
Watch how he gets underneath the guard. Avoids a block there.
Brooks goes up and over.
You know, that James was doing more jumping there than really being hit. But nonetheless, Hanford Dixon gets the job done.
He heads off to high fives. It's 3rd and 1 at the 33. Kennebrew. When you want one, you give it to Kennebrew. It will work virtually every time. First down for Cincinnati. About 3 minutes remaining first half. The Browns on top now, 10-7, after trailing 7-0.
One of the Browns players had a chance to tackle Kennebrew up high, and he decided that discretion was the better part of valor and decided to go down a little low. I think it closed his eyes. And Trent Kennebrew's size, I can't blame him.
Right. First down at the 35. Keeping it simple. Stanford Jennings cuts across the 40, and they still haven't brought him down. But the whistle blows, and a couple of elbows are thrown over on the far side.
Stanford Jennings made a cut just before he got to the hole that was phenomenal. Watch this cut. Look at that. In slow motion, it's hard to appreciate, but when it was going full speed, I mean, that happened so quickly. He was able to see that hole and make that cut back inside, and that's what made it happen. Beautiful move.
Reggie Kemp said, where'd he go? There's Jennings on the far side. And we are not going to get off another play before the 2-minute warning. So Cincinnati really playing conservatively on this drive, trailing by 3, keeping on the ground, and not getting off quick plays. So not sure what Sam White's strategy is. Maybe he'll be going for a tying field goal. 2-minute warning. Moving back to Cleveland State. More scoring than that first meeting when they had just the field goals. We have 2 minutes to go first half. Are you surprised that Sam White didn't hurry things up a bit?
No, I think what he really wants to do is make sure that he doesn't turn the football over. I mean, now they're on 44-yard line, right? So don't turn the ball over and give Cleveland a chance to get another score here before the half. Just keep doing what they're doing. It's working pretty well.
It's a second and short at the 44. The one turnover led to 7 points for Cleveland. That was the Al Gross interception. Now he's throwing. M.L. Harris in Cleveland territory down to the 46 before Chip Banks caught up with him. And the clock is stopped with 1:55 remaining until halftime.
I think M.L. Harris must have the highest average per catch of any tight end in all of football. Coming in this game, over 16 yards. A lot of speed.
Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
WLIO, Lima.
1:55 remaining. Len Berman with Gene Washington. First half. It's 10-7 Cleveland. First down at the 45. The dish off to Stanford Jennings. And Jennings barely gets back to the line of scrimmage, and the clock continues to run with 1:42 remaining, and they're not taking any timeouts. Dave Pazzulli making the stop.
The Browns really put the pressure on Turk Schonert on that play. Clay Matthews nailed him just after he got rid of the football.
Whole crew coming up at halftime. Bob and Ahmad and Pete and Axe. And I'm surprised a little bit how cozy Cincinnati is playing it. Not using the timeouts, not working the clock. And just 1:17 remaining first half. Short pass to Alexander, trying to get out of bounds. Do it. And the clock continues to run inside of a minute. Now it's stopped with 58 seconds, and the Bengals finally take a timeout. Eddie Johnson making the tackle, so 58 seconds remaining in the half. The Bengals are at the Browns 42, and we'll pause for this timeout. Turk Schonert still has 2 timeouts and 58 seconds to work with as Cleveland pulls a fire drill on defense, puts in 6 different guys. They waited to the last moment, so Cincinnati couldn't see what the defense was. The Bengals are 6 for 6 on third down tries. This is an important one here. And now he sees the different defense and becomes a traffic cop.
Blitz, putting the pressure on.
The flag goes down. It was intended for Kreider. He and Dixon collided, and Dixon is saying it's against Kreider. It's not me. Look at Dixon pleading his case over there. Well, yeah, it's going against Dixon.
Pass interference, number 29, defense, first down.
And the nice thing for Cincinnati is that they got the first down. They didn't have to use another timeout. There we see it. That's where it happens. Kreider being interfered with.
First penalty against the Browns, and this is first down at the 28 with 52 seconds remaining. And Marty Schottenheimer, who was the defensive coordinator, now head coach, needs defense here. The draw play to Alexander, and he picks up a couple. And the clock is running. 40 seconds remaining. Chip Banks made the tackle. They do not take a second timeout. Second and 10. And overthrows him with 23 seconds remaining in the half. That slippery, mud-filled end of the field, and mud will be all over his back now. As Sam White's, well, he practices magic on his weekly show. He needs to pull something out of the hat right here on 3rd and 10.
I think the Bengals caught the Browns by surprise a little bit. In this situation, usually the quarterback will throw a little short pass to the sideline, hoping that his man will catch the ball and run out of bounds. But they went for all the marbles and nearly came up with it.
There's the fire drill defense again. They've been successful on every 3rd down attempt. 7 for 7, the last one because of a penalty. But now with 23 seconds remaining. Schonert needs a first down, and he needs to get to the 18 to get it. Jennings looking to set up a long field goal attempt.
Ran a reverse with Mike Martin coming back from the wide receiver position.
And the clock, 7 seconds, 6, and I think they'll stop it right here with 4 seconds to go. So they tried to cross up everybody with the Mike Martin end around. It didn't fool anybody. And now the Bengals will try a tying field goal, but first they take a timeout. Jim Breach comes on. We'll be right back with Cincinnati's attempt. So Jim Breach will try to knot it up from 43 yards away.
From this distance, he's 3 for 3 this year, 40 to 49 yards.
Breach had hit 11 straight field goals before he hit the uprights last week to break that streak. But it was his field goal that beat the Browns in their last meeting with no time left. And now, with arms waving, he tries to tie it here at halftime. No, way short. And that's how the first half ends. So a bit of a high snap, but the ball was gotten down by Kreider. As you'll see, snap a little high, but he gets it down in pretty fair shape. But that is the wet, sloppy end of the field. He misses the 43-yard attempt, and that's the end of the first half.
To Cleveland Stadium, everybody. The Browns leading the Bengals in the Battle of Ohio Part 2 this year. 10-7 our score. Len Berman along with Gene Washington. And Gene, you said earlier you thought it would be high scoring. And even though it's just 10-7 at halftime, the teams have marched up and down the field effectively.
You know, the thing that really has impressed me about both teams is the fact that the quarterbacks have been very poised. Turk Schonert, this is what his 3rd start this season. I think only his 6th start in his career. Extremely poised, but I think it's reflective of the attitude on offense. Both coaches have decided they want to be a little more conservative and let their good defenses try to get turnovers.
Well, Sam White's and the Bengals were certainly conservative down the stretch. It appeared as if they were playing for a field goal. It did not go. The snap was a little bit high. The footing at that end of the field is a bit mushy, and it didn't go for Breach.
You know, Lenny, I've said this to you before. There's a saying around the NFL, you win with defense and you entertain on offense. And I think what we're seeing today is that kind of philosophy. No one wants to give the other team a big advantage by going for the high-risk plays, the big passes or all the stuff, and let the other defense get the football. They're playing it close to the vest because, I mean, this is a very important situation. Believe it or not, both of these teams, I mean, it's sort of unbelievable that both of these teams have a chance to make the playoffs.
That's right. Pittsburgh and Houston are still tied up 3-3. Well, let's take a look at some of the highlights, and to back up what you were talking about as far as the conservative kind of offensive approach, the first Cincinnati score of the day, the only score, came out of conservative outlet pass to Stanford Jennings, 15 yards for a touchdown.
Basically, it's a long handoff, and this is something the 49ers have done so many times. Bill Walsh, sort of his idea, he has more confidence in throwing the ball than he does running. Paul McDonald Here the touchdown. This is a beautiful throw and catch. Look at this catch. That's as nice as they come.
Brian Brennan, 21 yards. So the difference here at halftime is really this. The snap just a little bit high to Kreider. He does get it down, but...
You know, I think that the hesitation caused Breach to miss his field goal because he certainly has a strong enough leg to make it from that distance. Before that kick, he was 3 out of 3 from 40 to 49 yards. The other thing is that the field is still mushy and soft, as you talked about. And those soccer-style kickers, they have to be very concerned about that left plant foot. So I think the combination of that high snap and the soft field, I think, really forced him to miss that field goal.
All right, Gene, what do you look for in the second half? We're not sure if Chris Collinsworth can continue in the second half on the first play of the game. His ankle was injured. What do you look for offensively? Let's start with Cincinnati.
Well, I think we're going to see more in the second half of what we saw in the first half. I think they're going to stick primarily to the same type of philosophy. No one wants to give up the turnovers. Don't give the other team a big advantage. I think we'll see the same kind of thing. They'll try to run the ball, play action passing, then occasionally maybe they'll throw the ball deep. But basically, I think both teams will be fairly conservative on offense.
Okay, let's take a look at the first half statistics. The most important stat is 10-7 our score at halftime.
But, you know, look at the time of possession. It's really fairly close, and I think it's indicative of how this game has gone. The Bengals, they've had the ball 15 minutes, 52 seconds. Look at the Browns, 14 minutes. This is a close game. Now, the turnovers. Only one turnover in the game. The Bengals turned it over once on the interception, and I think that's reflective of why this game is so close.
Well, here we go. And the second half begins with Matt Barr kicking it out of the end zone. So Cincinnati will start from the 20 on the touchback. Turk Schonert had a strong first half. Lead them on for the second half. Look at that. Schonert completed 79%. That comes off last week when he went 87. Paul McDonald, 77. Now, one interception. The pass was intended for M.L. Harris from Schonert, picked off by Al Gross. That's been the difference. First down and 10 at the 20. And straight ahead goes Charles Alexander, and they do start conservatively, and Alexander picks up 6. Don Rogers came up to make the stop from his free safety position.
You know, we saw Don Rogers coming out of the locker room. Is he big for a safety, or is he big?
Really was. Huh? I was surprised. I always thought of safeties, or at least defensive backs, as being little guys, but build big and strong these days because they have to stop the run as often as the pass. This is a 2nd and 4 at the 26, and Alexander gets the call a second time. He stopped short of a first down. A hand for Dixon. Eddie Johnson.
Charles Alexander is in pain. He's a little slow getting up. You can see on his face that got shaken up a bit on that play. Officials are going to take a timeout. Let's take a look from the far end zone. Number 51, Eddie Johnson, is going to come up on the tackle along with Hanford Dixon. We'll be back while they attend to Charles Alexander.
Stadium. Charles Alexander walked off under his own power. Chris Collinsworth will not return. Out for the day. Injured on the first play. It's called an ankle problem. Probably a sprain. 3rd and short. Throwing to Don Kern for the first down.
Today's Chevrolet. See today's Chevy. Drive today's Chevy. Live today's Chevy. By Duracell, the copper top battery. When it comes to making them last longer, we never stop. And by the U.S. Army, a place to be all you can be.
And Larry Kinnebrew can be all of 250 to 270, and he carries it on first down. Don Kern caught that last pass for first down yardage. Just his 2nd catch of the year. Rookie 6th round draft choice out of Arizona State. But it was Kinnebrew picking up 5 on that carry.
But in the first half, the Bengals, I think, only had the football 3 times. Each of those 3 times they had an opportunity to score. Missed the field goal on the 3rd.
who fights close to a first down, but I believe he's short. Eddie Johnson and Tom Cousineau covering over there. And the clock is stopped, and another player slow getting up. That's Eddie Johnson, who had problems in the first half.
They were afraid of the mobility of Turk Schonert coming in this game. Marty Schottenheimer said it before the game, and you can see why. Maneuvers out and makes a nice throw running to his left. Gets the ball to Stanford Jennings, who's a good receiver. Let's watch number 51, Eddie Johnson, getting in on the action. And holding his head. Boy, I caught a knee right in the face mask.
Eddie's having a tough day. He was helped off in the first half as well when he collided with his teammate Hanford Dixon.
You know, he sees a lot of action in the middle of that defensive line area. I mentioned before, he's only 218 pounds, 6'1". 218 is small for an outside linebacker. Never mind a linebacker who has to play on the inside.
So he's replaced by Scott Nicholas, the third-year linebacker out of Miami. This will be 3rd and short at the 43. On the rollout, Schonert dives close to a first down. It depends where they mark it. So a quarterback rollout. Looked like the wishbone almost. Chip Banks over there to make the tackle. And I think we're going to have a measurement.
It's going to be very close. Actually, I was a little surprised to see that type of play because, as you said, it was like the college wishbone. It's going to be very close. Got it by the football, length of the ball.
Make a wish come true. First down, Turk Schonert. He had a rush that led to the first touchdown earlier.
You know, these young, strong quarterbacks can do this. 6 starts, so he hasn't gotten beaten up a lot. He still has a few more of these runs left in him. He's been around for about 13 years, though. He won't do that much more. Let's watch Chips Banks, number 56. Oh, put a little extra effort in that hit, didn't he?
First down at the 44. James Brooks fights for yardage across midfield. That's a nifty little run by James Brooks. That's the kind of thing they wanted when they traded Pete Johnson away, and they got it right there. Larry Brazil making the tackle. And they're in Cleveland territory.
Broncos over Kansas City, 10-7. Buffalo stretching out in the second quarter over in Indianapolis. There's my San Francisco team, 21-10 over the Falcons. You know, James Brooks, as you said, he burst through there with a nifty little run. You can do that with fresh legs. You know, that's you come in fresh, you can look like that.
2nd and 3 just across midfield. There goes the big guy, Kennebrew. And that's one of the rare times you'll see him stop for a gain of just a yard. You know what they said about Kennebrew? It's hard to believe. When he was a high school football player in Georgia, they said he raced Herschel Walker in a 100-yard dash and beat him.
How far of a head start did he get?
No.
They started even?
And Herschel wasn't carrying any wagons on his shoulders behind him. No, it was head-to-head in the dash. And the big guy won out. Doesn't sprint out, kind of lumbers off here. 3rd and 2 at the 48. Quick hitter. There's a first down to M.L. Harris inside the 40. So the Cincinnati offense is cranked up again. Al Gross making the tackle. So the thing that's really stopped Cincinnati today, 2 things. The Al Gross interception, the missed field goal. Outside of that, they've had some beautiful drives this afternoon.
They certainly have. This is the 4th time in the game that Cincinnati's had the football. 4th time. First 3 times. First time they went down. They got the touchdown. Then you mentioned they drove all the way down, the interception, then the field goal. But I'm really impressed by the play calling on both teams. Both of the teams on offense have had excellent play calling.
10th play of this drive. First down at the 39. And Jennings, the outlet man, picks up a couple of yards for Al Gross and a couple of his teammates. Eddie Johnson back in the lineup. Tom Cousineau, number 50. I haven't called his name much this afternoon. There's Tom. High school, collegiate, pro ball, all here in Ohio. Roar goes up from the crowd. You know why? Houston has just taken a 13-3 lead over Pittsburgh. And let me tell you something, Gene. Should Houston win, Both of these teams have an excellent chance. Yes, even Cleveland can go 7-9 and make the playoffs because of the tie-breaking procedures. If Pittsburgh loses to Houston today, it's a big, big story here in the AFC Central. That's why they cheered here at Cleveland Stadium. 2nd and 8. That was overthrown, looking for Mike Martin, but at least he hit him again. Larry Brazil covering. So Schonert this afternoon had one intercept. One pass went through James Brooks's hands, and this one might have been catchable.
Well, no, it was catchable. You know, weather's not that cold. It would have been a good catch. But I would have to say this. If Chris Collinsworth were coming across, I think he would have caught that one. You know, they say great players are players who make great plays. Wasn't that badly thrown.
Interesting. Collinsworth is injured. Isaac Curtis just has not been a factor this year for the Bengals. Now you're looking at people like David Verser and Mike Martin and even Steve Kreider today. 3 wide receivers in there. 3rd and 8. No, nowhere. Busted play. Intended for Mike Martin. He zigged when he should have zagged, or at least Schonert thought he was going the other way, and nothing.
Chris Rockins from the Browns was all over Mike Martin on the coverage.
So now we will see Pat McInally. First punt. Haven't seen a punt this afternoon. Pat McInally will give us one.
And back to receive for the Browns is the touchdown man, Brian Brennan.
I'd like to see McInally fake it and throw it here. He's 3 for 3 career in the pros. You know, he's 4 for 4 lifetime passing. He completed 1 at Harvard. He's completed 3 in the pros, 2 this year for Stanford Jennings. This is the position on the field where a fake is possible. I'd love to see Pat just line up and throw it. Well, let's see what happens. Timeout is called by the Bengals. So they spend the timeout right here as McInally heads off to the side. Perhaps.
You know, the interesting thing, you know, it's interesting. Maybe they did have something called there, and maybe McInally said, wait a minute, you know, because now once he goes to the sidelines, you can bet that Cleveland is saying, look out for any kind of funny play. See, it's too late to do anything now. Maybe they called it off.
Now he comes back on the field. Was that a timeout or was it not a timeout?
Well, the official put his arms up to stop play for some reason, though.
All right, McInally back around midfield. Brian Brennan is deep. See if Pat kicks or throws. 30-second clock is down to 4, and he gets underway, and he is going to kick. Going for the far corner. Brennan picks it up at the 13 and dragged down at the 15. Nice tackle by Don Kern on the far side. So the Browns will start at their own 15 as they get the ball for the first time in the second half. 8:46 remaining third quarter. The Browns lead the Bengals by 3. Gene, I'm now told what happened before. Marty Schottenheimer turned down a 5-yard delay of game penalty. Cincinnati wanted to move the ball back 5 yards for a better punting angle. The Browns turned it down, and that's why the clock was stopped before. First down at the 15. Brennan in motion. Hoist Green straight ahead for 3 yards. The way the Bengals were reacting defensively, I thought maybe the ball popped loose for a moment, but it didn't. This has been a fumble-free football game with 8.5 minutes remaining third quarter. There's the big story in the AFC Central. Houston at halftime leading 13-3. And we'll get into the remaining schedules for Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh later. But the tiebreakers, if Cleveland's involved, favor Cleveland. If Cincinnati's involved in a tiebreaker with Pittsburgh, it favors Cincinnati. So Pittsburgh doesn't want to tie with anybody because they lose in tiebreaking. McDonald throwing on second down, looking for Ricky Feature. And Feature couldn't catch up with him as Lewis Braden was with him step for step. He was the second receiver on the play. McDonald looks to the near side to Brennan. He was covered. Went to the far side to Feature, who nearly caught up with it.
You know, Ricky's been around for a long time, and as you pointed out, McDonald wanted to throw the ball down on the bottom side here, the left side to Brennan. Changed his mind. Watch Feature come underneath the defensive back. That's experience. A little more. He missed that about 3 inches. Good sign of experience, though. Watch how he comes back. He catches the ball early, gets sight of the ball early, comes back to the inside, and almost comes up with the reception.
On 3rd and 9, the Browns go with 3 wide receivers from the shotgun. Also Ozzie Newsome at tight end.
Comes a blitz.
And overthrowing Newsom. And this will set up 4th down. Ray Griffin covering. So we have not seen a fumble today. We have not seen a sack. We have seen few punts. This will be the 2nd punt coming up for Cleveland. Just 1 for Cincinnati. Steve Cox in.
The Bengals will get the ball in good field position here.
Mike Martin is deep. As we mentioned in the first half, he is the #1 punt returner in the AFC. Here's Steve Cox. Has had 1 block this year. Standing by it is 2. Gets a good kick away. This is Martin at the 28 and gets up to the 35, which brings a roar from the crowd on the 7-yard return. So with 7:48 remaining 3rd quarter, the Bengals get the ball back. The Browns are on top 10-7 as Steve Cox gets them out of danger.
There's a man putting on the Brownie jacket, covered himself up. Steve Cox, 57-yard punt, equal to his best of the season, and really changed the field position around. I thought that Cincinnati was going to have good field position. It's not bad here.
And Kinnebrew fights forward for 3 or 4 yards. You know, Steve Cox, an interesting story, had brain surgery a year ago. Of course, that's touch and go for anybody, but particularly for a professional athlete. He's bounced back from that. He kicks the long, they call it the Hail Mary field goals. They predict this man will kick an all-time NFL record field goal someday. He kicks them 70 in practice, kicked 160 against these Bengals the last time they met. This will be a 2nd and 6 at the 39. Alexander bounces off and goes nowhere. Stopped for no gain. 3rd down. Eddie Johnson, Tom Cousineau, the linebackers shutting down the run here. Cousineau leads them in tackles. It's a shake of the hand from Banks.
You look at that linebacking core of the Browns with Cousineau, Clay Matthews, who's probably having his best year of his career. Then little Eddie Johnson, and on the outside, Chip Banks. I don't think there's a group of linebackers anywhere in football that equal to this group.
They're strong. The Patriots have a pretty good core of linebackers, but this may be the best in the NFL. 3rd and 6 now for 39. Plenty of time again. David Verser, a big gainer all the way inside the 40s. So Verser catching just his 5th ball of the year, and it's a big play. And you know, as I mentioned earlier, with Isaac Curtis not doing much this season, they want to take a good look at Verser as well as Mike Martin, and Verser doing it right here, Gene.
Well, it all starts with the offensive line. The center, number 52, Dave Remington, 288 pounds. He does his job, helps out on someone else. That gives Turk time to throw. Man-to-man coverage. David Verser using his speed, and he beats Rod Perry, number 40, across the middle, picking up a nice gain, averaging 19 yards a catch.
22-yard gain all the way down to the 39.
Play action.
Reggie Camp. And there's the sack leader for the Browns. The first sack of the day, the 13th of the season. He's 1.5 sacks short of the all-time Cleveland record. Reggie Camp, 2nd year out of California, turning in the big defensive play. All the way back to the Cincinnati end of the field. So that was a 12-yard sack.
You knew that at some point in the day, Reggie Camp, coming from the right side of your screen, number 96, was going to get in on the action. I've seen him do this an awful lot. He beat up on my Stanford Cardinals out there in the Bay Area of San Francisco a number of times, and he gets him. Schonert goes off.
Schonert out. And Boomer Esiason, the rookie from Maryland, comes in. This is a 2nd and at least 20.
Another blitz.
And Rodney Holman heads out of bounds. Eddie Johnson chased him there, so this is now Boomer Esiason's chance to play. Now, when last they played, all 3 Bengals quarterbacks played, and now they're checking Schonert in the rib area, perhaps, after that sack by Reggie Camp.
That was a good play call by the Bengals, because when a new quarterback comes in, a defense oftentimes will blitz the quarterback because he's not so settled. That was a good play, a little screen to the tight end. Nice play call. But I tell you what, they're not going to get Boomer unsettled. He loves to come in under the heat of action. Now he has his chance to take these Bengals down for a score.
There's a 3rd and 13, Gene, at the 42.
Pressure. Gets away from it.
Franks. And nearly throws an interception to Hanford Dixon. After all of that, I thought he'd find an open, scrambling wide receiver. He couldn't do it, and Dixon nearly picked it off. Looking for Steve Kreider on the play. Look at Dixon pointing to the crowd to yell dogs for the defense.
Give you an idea how strong Boomer Esiason is. Look at this. 2 men, gets away from him. Now the receivers, in my opinion, didn't do the job here. They should come back to the quarterback. They're sitting there waiting. You can't do that. When that quarterback is scrambling, those defensive backs are sitting waiting. You have to come back to the quarterback.
So McAnally will punt again inside of 5 minutes remaining, 3rd quarter. Looking to the far side again. Brennan lets it bounce. It goes into the end zone for a touchback. So the Browns get a good bounce on a 42-yard punt. McAnally did not put it where he wanted it. So 4:45 remaining, 3rd quarter. Still the lead for the Cleveland Browns at 10-7. We'll be right back to Cleveland Stadium. Go get them, dogs. And with Gene Washington, I'm Len Berman. It's been a scoreless 3rd quarter. Cleveland gets the ball back. They don't score a lot of points. 2nd fewest in the NFL.
Lenny, what's happening here in the 2nd half as opposed to the 1st half? The defenses are really coming on. First 2 possessions by the Bengals, punting both times. Now the Browns have it the 2nd time. We'll see how the Cincinnati defense plays. Here comes a blitz.
Newsome on the far side, tracked down by Jeff Shue after a gain of about 5. Clock continues to run with 4.5 minutes remaining, 3rd quarter. Browns lead at 10-7. Jim Breach missed the tying field goal with 4 seconds remaining in the half. We've had no scoring here in the 2nd half. Call a gain of 6, 2nd and 4 to 26. Cleveland looking for their 3rd straight win. More importantly, should Pittsburgh lose, they've really got a shot to make the playoffs at 7-9. Draw play to the rookie Ernest Biner, who does well to get back to the line of scrimmage. You know, Biner plays with those unbreakable goggle-type glasses. He told me this is the first year he's tried them, and works out pretty well for him. Eric Dickerson wears the glasses, and not too many players. You know, a good shot of it there. Ernest Biner, the rookie out of East Carolina.
After Abdul Kareem Jabbar sort of popularized them, I think everyone decided that it wasn't a sissy thing to do to wear glasses. So now you see it more and more, and it really is very effective for the players. They get a lot of fingers in the eyes when they're running up into that line of scrimmage.
I love Kareem's line as McDonald goes to the shotgun. Kareem said, "I only have 1 pair of eyes." Again, the first sack for the Bengals, and a late flag is thrown. So now each team has turned in 1 sack. Eddie Edwards puts his arms up in triumph. But let us see what the flag means. I would think it would be a late hold.
Probably holding. Probably holding.
Speak to us, Jerry Mark Bright.
Will decline and get the football back.
Holding number 75, offense, penalty declined, 4th down.
That was Bill Ponce, the right tackle.
Well, Mr. Cox will get another chance to boom one. The Raiders, Miami coming up next. Oh, you talk about a dog fight.
Yeah, that should be terrific. That's coming up right here on NBC Sports. On paper, one of the games of the year, and we're happy to have it for you from the Orange Bowl coming up next. Steve Cox to punt, standing inside his 5. Gets another boomer. He's been their best offense here in the 2nd half. Mike Martin at the 35. Martin, ball loose. But I think a Bengal fell on it, Gene. That might be Griffin on the bottom. Let's see. Martin lost the ball. Jim Griffin saved the day for the Bengals. Big play right there. 47-yard punt. You'll see the ball pop free, but Jim Griffin is the man on the spot. Ball is loose, and Griffin saves it. Bengals ball when we return. The last time these teams met, it was a game of field goals. This one has evolved into a game of punting, with now Boomer Esiason replacing the injured Turk Schonert. Chris Collinsworth is out as well. Bengals doing it without two of their offensive weapons. First down at their 43, trailing 10-7. Flag is down. And so is the ball. And Boomer has it with him. Bengals certainly leaving the ball on the ground the last two plays. They've recovered them both times, but we'll see what the flag is as Camp and Baldwin supplied the pressure from the defensive line for the Browns. Motion penalty against the Bengals.
Number 96, the man with one sack today already, Reggie Camp, coming in, putting the pressure on. And not a bad job of pass protection, though, really, from Mike Wilson.
They declined the penalty, Gene, so instead of 1st and 15, it turns out to be 2nd and 15.
Again, pressure.
Gets away and completes it to a wide open M.L. Harris. And Horton makes a big tackle, but Harris had stepped out of bounds at the 40. What a big play. Esiason breaking away from trouble in the backfield, finding Harris. And Don Rogers, the man defensively.
Watch this. Watch how he breaks away here. Chip Banks was coming in, had a shot at him. Pops loose, gets the ball out to M.L. Harris. And as you said, that's a big, big play. Now, Boomer really needs to scramble around and try to make big plays because he isn't the percentage passer that Turk Schonert is. There's Schonert on the sidelines. He was about a 64% passer. Esiason is about 49%.
Alexander fights forward for a gain of 2. That last pass play to M.L. Harris, 22 yards. That was a big tackle that Don Rogers made, but it was rendered inconsequential by Harris stepping out of bounds. Doesn't look like Schonert's coming back. He's getting iced down on his shoulder.
David Verser is checked back into the game.
Giants in the dogfight in the NFC East, winning the Battle of New York in the 3rd quarter. They're starting the 3rd quarter in the Astrodome now. But Pittsburgh scored 52 points last week, and here they're held to 3 today. 2nd and 8 now. For Harris again. Good coverage by Al Gross, and the ball falls incomplete.
That was excellent pass coverage by Al Gross on that play. He is a very impressive cover man for a strong safety. Usually a strong safety is your big tackler, not necessarily known for pass coverage. But Al Gross has made a couple of terrific plays.
Interception last week. He had the critical turnover, the only turnover today. 3rd and 8 at the 38. A couple little running backs in there now. Brooks and Jennings. Kreider on the near side with the mud all over.
Here comes a blitz.
Rogers laid a hit on Verser. Oh my goodness. And for Dixon, pointing over to Rogers. The rookie first-round draft choice from UCLA, Don Rogers. Look at this hit on Verser.
I don't know how David Verser got up so quickly. Look at Rogers coming up, times it perfectly, and just a blow right to the head. David Verser had the football, but there's no way he can hold on to this. Watch, he gets the football. He has the ball there. Oh, on the left side. We missed it on that angle. But that was some blow from Don Rogers.
McAnally lines up to punt again. Kicks it short. Look out, Bengals. Gets a Browns bounce. Goes backwards out to the 22. So McAnally unable to find the corners. That punt goes officially just 16 yards for Pat McAnally. So with 1 minute 50 seconds remaining 3rd quarter, Cleveland continues to nurse the 10-7 lead. We've had no scoring here in the 3rd quarter. And remember, right after this game, the 9-4 Raiders, the 12-1 Dolphins. Looking forward to seeing that one with Dick and Merlin here on NBC Sports. First down at the 22. Mike Pruitt for the first time today. And Pruitt gets out to the 25, the third leading rusher in the history of the Cleveland Browns. And Pruitt not getting the playing time. He's getting off injured reserve now. He's had some knee trouble, but even so, they're going with the rookie Ernest Biner, but Pruitt seeing action for the first time on that play. Pickup of 3. Call it 2nd and 7 at the 25. Pruitt again. Big fullback picks up a couple of more to the 27. Ross Browner of Notre Dame making the tackle. Now the wide receivers come on. Tight ends head out. Pruitt heads out. We'll go with Biner and 3 tight ends on this play. 3rd down and 4 at the 28.
The most important thing about this down for the Browns, if they make it, then they can change field position. If they don't, then the Bengals again are going to have the advantage of the best field position.
From the shotgun.
Oh, he got it.
By Ozzie Newsome for the first down. Important first down conversion for Oz. The play from Paul McDonald. And with 27 seconds remaining in a scoreless third quarter, the Browns have a first down at their 37.
Now, Lenny, the point I was just making about changing field position is that even if the Browns don't score on this possession, now they got that big first down. They can move the ball down a little bit. Even if they punt, now they put the Bengals offense back up against their goal line. That was a critical first down.
Mike Pruitt back in. There he goes. And stopped. Maybe a gain of a yard. Bodies come flying in. 20 seconds remain third quarter, and bodies untangled. Eddie Edwards, the man who made that tackle on the bottom. Now the clock is restarted. 15 seconds remaining third quarter. Gain of 1. 2nd and 9. And that should be it for the third quarter. So in the Battle of Ohio, no blood struck in the third quarter. It was 10-7 Cleveland at halftime. That's the end of the third quarter. It's still 10-7 Browns over the Bengals. We'll be right back after these words from our local stations. A minimum of 15 minutes of football remaining as we start the fourth quarter. 10-7 Cleveland. The Browns will drive offensively to the dry end of the field. 2nd and 9 at the 39. And it's complete on the far side to Willis Adams, making his first catch of the day.
Today's game is brought to you by Jeep Corporation. There's a feeling you can get only in a Jeep. By Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store. And by Prudential Bates Securities, where account executives provide total financial planning.
An 11-yard pickup to Willis Adams, 5th-year player of Houston, making his first catch of the day. And now the Browns are out at midfield. Opening moments, fourth quarter. They've got a 3-point lead. Play action fake to Pruitt. The pass on a near side to a diving Ozzie Newsome, and it's complete.
First down.
Covering.
Lenny, the interesting thing, the Browns, look, they're going with their 2 tight end set. Only 1 remaining back. That's Mike Pruitt. McDonald with plenty of time to throw the football. His offensive line has done a good job. Gets the ball out to Ozzie Newsome on the side. A nice diving catch. You can see he comes up with it. No question.
Standing ovation for Newsome with that catch. He is the all-time leading Browns yardage receiver. He broke Ray Renfro's Browns record, most yards receiving in a career. Ozzie Newsome keeps the ball. Well done for the Wizard of Oz. Catch picked up
close to a first down, so it's 2nd and 1 as the crowd yells Ozzie. Pruitt, first down, Browns. So the Browns move inside the Bengals 40 as Ozzie Newsome. Is this a career or what? 5,516 career yards. They've had some receivers in Cleveland here over the years. Ozzie's now #1 all time.
Ozzie has a chance to lead the AFC in receiving this year, and if he does it, it'll be the first Brown to do it since 1975 when Reggie Rucker led the AFC with 60 receptions.
Pruitt straight ahead, so Pruitt is the workhorse here in the second half. Stopped after a gain of a yard or so by Robert Jackson. The whistles continue to blow. Sounds like a symphony of whistles down there from Mark Bright and crew.
Well, that's Harry Holt, number 81, the tight end, who's getting in on the action there. You know, the Browns offense here is certainly reflective of the attitude that head coach Marty Schottenheimer has, and that's to be conservative. Don't turn the ball over. Run the football. Eat up the clock. Let your defense go to work. So the Browns are nursing that 3-point lead, and I think that Marty's satisfied to keep the ball on the ground and not turn it over.
Pittsburgh now within 3 points of Houston. We'll keep our eye on that for you. 2nd down from the 37. 2nd and 8. Biner for a first down. Lewis Green finally made the tackle. But Ernest Biner, who's yet to score a touchdown, rushing or receiving, he scored one on a fumble recovery this year on a big play against the Bills.
Paul McDonald, after the Kansas City game, when he was sacked 11 times, told the coaching staff he needed some pass plays where he could build up his confidence. And it certainly worked because he is a very confident quarterback. He's dropping back. He's throwing those medium-range passes, play action. And you can see, I mean, he's a confident player now.
No interceptions today, just 1 sack. First down at the 28. Pruitt to the 25, a gain of 3 before Glenn Cameron, the right inside linebacker, stopped him. Inside of 13 minutes remaining now. And still it's 10-7 Cleveland, but they're on the move.
And again, the big play, I think, was that 3rd down conversion when they were back on their side of the field coming up with that pass. Big play. Now they're certainly down within field goal range. 2nd down. I still think they're going to be fairly conservative. Marty wants to come away with some points on this drive. Doesn't want to turn the ball over.
2nd and 7 at the 25, and he hands it to Pruitt again. Pruitt to the 15. Another first down for the Browns.
Student body right. Pruitt heads up the middle. Outside opens up. But you can see, though, that Greg Pruitt, he's a big, strong runner, but doesn't quite have the niftiness he had before he went out with that injury. It'll take a little time. I guess part of it is psychological. You need to do it and sort of get in your mind that I can still make those sharp cuts, but he isn't quite there yet.
This drive began 11 plays ago at the 22, and Pruitt that time is dropped by Eddie Edwards. 11.5 minutes remaining. It's 4th quarter. This game's gone fast. It's only 10 after 3 Eastern time, but the clock rolls on. 11:20 remaining in the 4th, and it's still 10-7 Cleveland.
Well, the Bengals think they're going to throw the football because they're bringing in their pass rusher and a couple of other defensive backs. It is a good opportunity to do that, but with Marty's philosophy about offense, I don't know. He might decide just to keep it on the ground. Play action.
Brennan wheels away. Left forward. Brian Brennan. It's a first down on the 2nd effort by the rookie from Boston College.
But look at this second effort. Sees the marker. Look at that. Reaches out and gets the first down.
Ray Griffin saying, what do I have to do to bring down this cowboy?
Watch this second effort. Heads up football, knows where the first down marker is, and just reaches out and puts the ball up there, and they get the first down.
First and goal. Tipped away, intercepted, and a flag is down. The tip by Browner, the interception by Kemp. And it can't be interference because once the ball is tipped, it's open game.
It can't be pass interference. Holding. Oh! They've got defensive holding.
Well, here's Jerry Markbright with the call. Big call.
Number 20, defense, automatic first down.
It's against Ray Horton, the cornerback.
And right now, that stacks up as the biggest play of the game. An interception nullified. The Bengals call a timeout to regroup. Ray Horton holding after an apparent interception after a Browner tip by Bobby Kemp. The wheels turn. It'll be first and goal halfway to the goal line. We'll be back.
Watch the tip. Ross Browner, number 79, on the left side of your screen, jumps up and bats the ball away. There's the tip. Now, on the right side of your screen, in the middle of your screen, you see number 80 for the Browns. He was the man, Willis Adams, who was being held by Ray Horton.
First and goal. Throw it. Up and over. But not in. It'll be second and goal. What a change of fortunes on one play. A would-be interception nullified by a holding call. And now you're faced with second and goal from maybe half a foot away. Wow, the crowd noise at that end of the field.
I'd give it to Mike Pruitt again, or I'd sneak it. One of the two.
Throw it. Something to hug about. Only Jimmy Brown and Leroy Kelly have rushed for more yards in a Browns uniform, and now Mike Pruitt, coming off of arthroscopic knee surgery, having missed 4 games, scores an important touchdown here. 10 minutes, 10 seconds remaining, fourth quarter. Browns need an 11th man out there. Now they rush to get into formation for the extra point try. The 30-second clock is down to 9. Barr converts it. And now the big number is 10. 10 minutes, 10 seconds left, and a 10-point lead. Here it is one more time. Davis the block. Pruitt the touchdown. The Cleveland Browns are alive in the playoff chase. They lead by 10.
Mike Pruitt, number 43, with a touchdown. If you can believe it, that's the first touchdown running the football for the Browns in 29 quarters.
That's over 7 games. At the 15, Mike Martin gets out to the 30. So, chance for a breather. 10 minutes remaining in regulation. 17-7. Cleveland so far is on top in the Battle of Ohio. We'll be back. There was some thought here in Cleveland of Mike Pruitt would see less and less playing time once he came off the injured list. It would be the rookie Ernest Biner. This second half has been Pruitt, then more Pruitt. And now first down for the Bengals at their 30. Boomer Esiason still in the quarterback. That's Kreider in motion. And complete to Kreider. Now the schedule becomes critical here. The Bengals finish on the road at New Orleans. I believe the Bengals are home for the last game, so let's make it a road game in New Orleans, a home game with Buffalo. The Browns, this is their last home game. They finished at Pittsburgh, at Houston. And I'll talk about some possibilities later, but if all three teams should finish 7-9, the Browns would go to the playoffs. First losing team ever to make the playoffs in the National Football League. Jennings fights for a first down across the 40. Tom Cousineau finally catches up with him. 9 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. Browns leading the Bengals by 10.
Yeah, with Boomer Esiason in there at quarterback, the one thing that the Browns secondary has to be concerned about is that he has a very strong arm. Turk Schonert is very accurate, but Boomer Esiason can get it downfield.
Puts it down at the 43. There it is, just what you said. All the way down to the 32. The Bengals are in business.
And Esiason got rid of that football under a lot of pressure. The Browns had a lot of heat on him. And look at this. He doesn't put much on him. Just gives you an idea of how strong he is. Look, he just sort of lost that one in there. Nice touch. Good throw.
A 25-yard pickup for the rookie from Maryland. When Anderson was injured earlier this year, Esiason was the man. Some people thought he'd be the man the rest of the year. Anderson got healthy, then Schonert became the man. Esiason's back now. First down at the 32. Martin in motion. Nearly intercepted on the near side by Clay Matthews. He got a big hand up there.
Boomer is looking all the way at his receiver, Clay Matthews, a veteran linebacker. He saw it, he read the quarterback's eyes, and he was able to get out and knock that ball away. I mentioned before, Clay Matthews is having probably his best season of his career. Boomer Esiason, though, see, that's a sign of inexperience. When you drop back, you know a linebacker like Matthews is out there, you want to sort of look him off. Come out there sort of at the last moment and throw the football.
2nd and 10 at the 32.
Here comes a blitz.
Oh, and Harris dropped it. M.L. Harris just plain dropped it. You know, Gene, this is a game for real trivia buffs. 2 left-handed quarterbacks on the field. Now in action. Here's one of them, Esiason.
This could have turned into a big play. Could have been a big play because the Browns were on the blitz. No linebackers out in the area. M.L. Harris drops the ball, though. Now they have a long 3rd down, about 3rd and 10.
Crowd yelling for the Dogs to bark up some defense. Jennings short of a first down, I believe. Matthews and Cousineau on the far side covering. And that is a yard shy of a first down. It'll be 4th and 1 and decision time for the Bengals.
They're going for it.
No decision then.
They have to go for it.
All right, do you give it to Kinnebrew or do you give it to Kinnebrew? Is he even in there? That's the question.
You know, how far is it? It's a yard to go?
Yeah.
My call would be with a quarterback like Esiason, I'd have him on a rollout.
Kinnebrew is not in the lineup. It's Alexander and Jennings. Ooh, and that's complete on the far side. And that time Harris held on. He had to spin around to get it. That was not a simple first down reception by any stretch.
Well, Harris made up for the drop. He made a good catch on that play. That's a gutsy call.
Yes, sir.
Coming out throwing the ball. They go for it. And as you said, he spins around and makes a nice catch. Good catch by M.L. Harris.
First down at the 18. 6 minutes and 45 seconds left in regulation. Cleveland 17, Cincinnati 7. But Cincinnati is on the way.
Maybe blitzing. Here comes Kid back.
Going to the end zone. The clear, and it falls incomplete. Look at the celebration here. Rodgers and Dixon in the end zone.
And look at the mud.
Looking for Kreider all the way. He was double covered over there.
Kreider almost came up with that ball. He was in a slippery part of the field. Esiason lofts it up a little bit, gets nice touch on it, but watch Kreider. He comes out and almost gets this football. Look at this. He nearly comes up with it. That's a good effort. Good defensive play, though, by that number 20.
Yeah, Rogers and Dixon was there as well. Well, Collinsworth injured with an ankle, first play of the game. Schonert injured in the third quarter, his shoulder. Now it's Esiason and Kreider, and it's second down at the 18. And here's Martin. And Martin stretches for a first down. Mike Martin says, Brian Brennan, if you can do it, I can do it. Good second effort by Mike Martin, second-year man out of Illinois. Al Gross covering, first and goal.
Mike Martin has an awful lot of speed and quickness. Only 3 receptions coming in this game. But look at this catch. In traffic, nice catch.
Look at the second effort, Gene. Against Gross. Put his hand down and fought just enough for first down yardage. That's a good play, Mike Martin. First down at the 7. 6 minutes remaining. This is the slippery end of the field now. Closed in area. Play action fake. Overthrows. Verser was back there, but perhaps it was intentional all the way. Second down from the 7 coming up. If this was the 49ers, you'd expect Dwight Clark or Freddie Solomon on a kind of
in the
pass.
back of the end zone.
This is not the 49ers. Although Cincinnati knows all about the 49ers. They gave the 49ers a heck of a game out in San Francisco earlier this year.
I tell you, with a quarterback like Esiason, though. Oh, tied up. Pittsburgh, come back.
And that's late third quarter, 13-13.
Rollout. I like a rollout down here with a quarterback like Esiason.
Second and goal for the 7. I think they'll call an incomplete forward pass. Crowd and the Browns want to fumble. I think they'll rule the arm was coming forward here, Gene. Yeah. Ooh, Chip Banks unhappy with that call. They'll say the arm was going forward. I think it was a good call.
I think it was. We'll watch from the corner of the end zone. If his arm is starting forward at all, it's an incomplete. It's awfully close.
Very close. Very close. You know what smart quarterbacks will do a lot? As they start to get hit, if the ball comes loose, they'll push the hand forward anyway.
Yeah.
And that's clever. Maybe that's what happened. Very, very close call. Bengals fans are saying, hey, we had the tough call at the other end. Now maybe we're getting one back. This is third and goal now at the 7. Complete to Brooks, out of bounds at the 4. And another decision coming up. Larry Brazil on the far side. You go for 3 here. What amounts to a sure 3 to close within 7. I would think maybe that's the call from the 4-yard line, Gene. Pick up the short 3.
How far are they from the first down?
No, it's goal.
Oh, it's
4 yards for the touchdown.
Can't get in. Woo. I would go with you. I think I'd go for the field goal.
Sam White and the Bengals are going for 6.
This is a gutsy call. I would be inclined to take that little chip shot here and get my defense to try to get me a turnover.
I would too. Esiason takes time out. That's what it's all about. Should Cleveland win and should Pittsburgh win? You know, Pittsburgh just tied it up. Should Pittsburgh and Cleveland win, the race is over, folks. Pittsburgh would win the AFC Central. But if Cleveland or Cincinnati win and Pittsburgh loses, the race goes on at least one more week. And here, this is a game decision, Gene. If you don't make 3 or 6 here with 5:36 to go against the Browns defense on the soggy end of the field, I think that's all she wrote.
Well, the other thing about it, okay, they're down by 10, right? Even if they...
All right, Breach is coming on now.
Oh, okay, that's
right.
I was about to say, I think that...
you know, neither of us coached in the game of football, and you played and I didn't, but that looked like an obvious call to go for 3 there. All right, there's the story in the Astrodome. Pittsburgh did trail 13-3. They've come back to tie. And the Bengals hope to draw within 7 here with 5:36 remaining in regulation. There's the soggy end. Remember, Breach, as the first half ended, The high snap to Kreider, and Breach couldn't get going. Well, Breach is trying to tamp down the field there. This is a 22-yard attempt.
Well, Breach has had 9 attempts from this range, and he's made 8 of them this season, so...
Well, he hit this one. So, with 5:32 remaining fourth quarter, the Bengals are within 7. It's 17-7 Cleveland. When we come back, Paul McDonald and company back to work. As most battles of Ohio go, this one is close with a lot of strategy. I, for a minute, couldn't believe that Cincinnati wasn't going to take a sure 3 there.
Well, I think Sam was so excited about the opportunity of getting a touchdown, and he finally realized even if he'd gotten a touchdown, they still needed a field goal. So why not get the field goal now and then get that one out of the way, right?
Absolutely. And Brennan gets across the 20. And that's where the Browns will start. So, 5:23 remaining now in the fourth quarter. We had a Mike Pruitt half-yard plunge and a field goal by Breach. The story in Houston, tied fourth quarter. And don't even ask me what happens if any of these games wind up in a tie. I don't have a clue.
Pressure now on the Bengals defense.
Here's Pruitt. To 30. Mike Pruitt is saying, I'm not too old. My knee is just fine, folks. And he's putting on a demonstration here in the second half. A pickup of 9.
He ran right through a tackle, or at least a tackle attempt by Robert Jackson. Watch Jackson, number 37, come up. Look what happens. Strong legs by Mike Pruitt.
So 51,000 plus being treated to quite a football game. Mike Pruitt has rushed for 36 tough yards here in the second half. This is 2nd and 1 at the 31 for the Browns. Pruitt all the way to the 45. Two plays, 23 yards for Mike Pruitt.
Well, this is the Mike Pruitt that we've all come to love to watch run over the years. And I think what's happening is that his confidence is starting to build. But look at the blocking. Look at the holes there. Number 81, Harry Holt. Big, strong tight end coming down.
And the old guy, Doug Deacon, his 201st straight game, number 73. Big block on that play as well. First down at the 45. Why not? Pruitt. This time they hold him to just 2. But it's been 3 plays for Pruitt.
Well, I'll tell you what. If I were the Cincinnati defensive coordinator, knowing that Marty Schottenheimer is playing for a field goal here, he wants to keep that ball on the ground. I don't think he's going to take any chances. I'd put everybody up on the line of scrimmage and force them to throw the football. I mean, I'd bring those linebackers up and say, look, you're not going to run it. If you're going to get down the field, you're going to have to throw it.
3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining now. Cleveland leading by 10. 2nd and 8 at their 47. Sam White has to be concerned right here on this drive. Play action to Pruitt. To Brennan, first down. Len Cameron tackles him, but the rookie from Boston College smells first down yardage. A young Charlie Joyner. He knows where the yardsticks are, goes after it inside of 3 minutes. Brennan has a touchdown already today and a couple of big important first down grabs, and it's another first down just across the Cincinnati 45.
Getting in between the zones and picking up that first down, but again, tremendous pressure on this Bengal defense. They either have to come up with a turnover or get the ball back here. They can't allow the Browns to get a first down in this series right here. They can't allow another first down.
First down at the 44, inside of 2.5 minutes remaining. Pruitt.
Come on, Michael!
Pruitt for 2. And we might not get another playoff before the 2-minute warning. Ross Browner with the tackle. Brian Brennan today, 5 catches, 55 yards, and a touchdown. The day after his running buddy from Boston College wins the Heisman, Doug Flutie. That's the 2-minute warning. Our score, 17-10, Cleveland over Cincinnati. And both here and on film, here comes another one of those fantastic finishes as we've reached the 2-minute warning at Cleveland Stadium. Cincinnati down to 1 timeout. Browns have 3 left, thanks to our statistician, Don Trebus. Our spotters today, John Betchko, Pete Halbin. Thanks, guys. We've had a fun time at Cleveland Stadium. Still 2 minutes remaining in a 7-point game. Cleveland leading Cincinnati. 2nd and 8 at the 42 for Paul McDonald and the Browns. Through it. Stopped. No gain. Maybe lost a yard. 3rd down coming up and long. Tim Crumry on the tackle.
There was a blitz, and they brought the linebackers in, close down those running gaps, and they're going to have to do it again. They have to get the football back here. They can't allow a first down.
And the Bengals spend their last timeout with 1:52 left as McDonald and Schottenheimer and the Browns have 3rd and 8. But a lot more coming your way here on NBC Sports. The Raiders at the Dolphins. This is the time of year with the Raiders. It's December, so that means the Raiders are going to come on strong, right?
Make their move. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mr. Jim Plunkett come off the bench in that game today as Mark Wilson, the starting quarterback. And they've struggled on offense with Wilson. If he doesn't have a good first half, I think we'll see Jim Plunkett.
Well, a big one in the Orange Bowl. The last night's forecast called for some rain. Now, I don't know what it's doing in Florida this afternoon, but hopefully we'll have a good field and a good game for the Dolphins and Raiders. Here, Sam White is out of timeout. 1:52 remaining, 4th quarter, 3rd and 8. Should he get the ball back? He's got Boomer Esiason in, Schonert out hurt, Collinsworth out hurt. He's going to need a little miracle this afternoon. But first, he has to stop Cleveland defensively.
I doubt very much that Paul McDonald will throw any kind of risky pass in this situation. If he does throw the ball, I think it'll be very conservative.
3rd and 9 at the 43. Through it. Conservative. Gets to the 41. Now remember, they have Steve Cox, who can kick field goals from 70 yards in practice. And Cox is the man. They call him their Hail Mary field goal kicker. He kicked one, as I mentioned, a 60-yarder against the Bengals earlier this year. Let's see where they spot this one, because this one's going to be right up there. No, he's going to punt. Okay. I thought he was going to try a long one, Gene. The clock is running down. They'll probably use all 30 on the clock. There are still 14 minutes on the 30-second clock. 14 seconds on the 30-second clock. And down inside of 10 now. They're lined up. 5 seconds on the 30-second clock. Then he gets it away. It's blocked! A big block! The Bengals have fallen on it inside the 30. Wow! What a play with a minute to go! John Simmons fell on the ball. And the Bengals, with no timeouts, have a minute to go to try to tie it. Let's see who got the hand here.
That's Holman, isn't it?
Rodney Holman, number 82. Now, at first, one of the Bengals tries to pick it up and run with it, which is a mistake. Tries to run with it, nearly lost it, then he fell on it. That's John Simmons. Here go the Bengals now. First down at the 27. Was it caught?
Yes, caught it.
Ryder.
But he's still in bounds. He's still in bounds.
The clock is still running. 43 seconds to go. Alexander, and he gets out of bounds at the 14. 31 seconds to go, and the clock is stopped. And Houston has taken the lead. This AFC Central in the last 30 seconds has turned absolutely wacky.
see Kenny Anderson signaling in the play from the sideline. He and Sam White. This has turned out to be some football game.
Oh, the Rodney Holman block. John Simmons recovered. First and 10 at the 14. Alexander on that block well. 23 seconds to go. Out Gross with the tackle. Inside of 20, Esiason calling a play to his teammates. But Cryer, that might be interference. Interference! Absolutely a good call with 7 seconds remaining. Pass interference. Hanford Dixon hit Steve Kreider. And the Bengals will have another try.
Interference. Number 29, defense in the end zone. First down on the 1-yard line.
7 seconds to go. What would you call?
Here it is. Hanford Dixon just pushes Kreider.
Wow. It's 17-7 Cleveland. Cincinnati ball on the Brown 1-yard line. 7 seconds to go. Touchdown. Tackle eligible. Anthony Munoz. Anthony Munoz catches a touchdown on tackle eligible. He was in the movie Right Stuff. That was the right stuff right there. With 1 second to go. But Jim Breach at the soggy end of the field still has a bit of business to take care of with the score 17-16.
What a call from Sam White. A must-score situation, and you take a chance on throwing the ball to a tackle. And they come up with it.
Going for the tie. That's it. The Battle of Ohio is tied at 17 under remarkable circumstances. A blocked punt by Rodney Holman. Pass interference against Hanford Dixon. And a tackle-eligible 1-yard touchdown pass to Anthony Munoz. And with 1 second to go in regulation, it's 17-all.
What a call. What a call. Anthony Munoz blocks, gets down on his knee, then gets up, acts the part of a tight end, comes up with a reception touchdown. And you can see the disbelief on the face of some of these Cleveland players. Let's watch again. Anthony Munoz blocks, down on one knee, gets up. There it is, 6 points. What a turnaround.
Wow. So, after 1 more second expires, we will have an overtime.
Not a good snap. Not a good snap.
They never did start the clock. Clock doesn't start until it's touched.
An official threw a flag, though. Just when Breach kicked the ball, the official threw a flag down.
Jerry Markwright calls an offside on the kicking play.
Offside. Kicking team penalty declined. First down.
So the Brownies will get one chance. They'll get a chance for a Hail Mary.
Well, there's only one Hail Mary player on this team. Doug Flutie's college teammate, Brian Brennan. Unless they try a massive field goal. I mean, Cox has kicked it this long in practice if he tries a 70-yarder. Timeout, Cleveland. Let's see where they spot the ball. Apparently, they're spotting it around the 48. If they wanted to try a field goal, it would be a 65-yard attempt. He's kicked one from 60. It would be the longest attempt in NFL history, and they say he has kicked it from 70 yards away in practice. Why not try a Hail Mary field goal here instead of a Hail Mary pass?
Well, I think he's getting ready. He's putting the shoe on. You're right.
The longest field goal in NFL history, Tom Dempsey, 63 yards. Earlier this year, Cox kicked it from 60. They say when they snap the ball to him on these long kicks, the center ducks because he kicks them so low. But here he comes. Steve Cox to try a Hail Mary field goal with 1 second to go. This is unbelievable, Chief. The ball being spotted at his own 46.
It's going to be a
66-yard attempt. 54, let's see. 64-yard attempt. 64 yards for a win and an NFL field goal record. No. All right. Now it's down, and now we'll have overtime. This is unbelievable. The craziest thing I ever saw in this stadium was a preseason game. Mike Haynes for the Patriots was returning a punt in the clear, and he spiked it at the 5-yard line, and it was recovered in the end zone by Darryl Stingley for a touchdown. Now that's the second wildest thing. The first one, with 1 second to go, tackle-eligible touchdown pass to Anthony Munoz. Must be the first reception of his career. Must be the first touchdown of his career.
Well, the officials are out huddling. Let's watch the block punt that made all of this happen. Rodney Holman, number 82, blocks the punt. The Bengals come up with it. And here is Anthony Munoz, USC, all-pro tackle, now a receiver, touchdown. All 278 pounds. Look at those linemen. All right.
You know, in 1978, these teams played an overtime game.
Hey, heads is the call. It's a tail. Cleveland wins the toss. You know what?
You know, in 1978, Gene, Cleveland won the toss and came down and kicked the winning field goal in overtime against Cincinnati. That was right here in 78. All right, overtime coming up at Cleveland Stadium. Cleveland ball right after this station break.
That man who's bending over with the Browns jacket on, no helmet, is Calvin Hill. Dallas Cowboy fame, and of course played here at Cleveland. He's been accustomed to games like this.
Cincinnati kicks it away to begin overtime. Davis, the rookie. Davis fumbles out of bounds. Cincinnati ball. What will happen next in this football game as Bruce Davis, the rookie from Baylor, fumbled it out of bounds? We will have a 15-minute overtime period. If the game is still 17-17 at that point, the game ends tied. Here it is again.
Gets the ball knocked away, but fortunately for them, I think the ball goes out of bounds, or one of the Browns recovers. There it is, goes out of bounds. Now, Lenny, this is going to be a real test for Marty Schottenheimer in terms of how he calls the game from this point. You know, he's backed up against his own goal line. Now, is he going to play conservative football? Because if the Bengals get the ball in good field position, all they need is a field goal.
He's throwing. First, now he's faking. Now he throws and completes it. Rodney Holman out of bounds across the 20 with Jeff Shue covering.
They're going to go for it. I like it. If I had a tight end like Ozzie Newsome, I guess I'd throw him the football too.
No overtime. Ozzie Newsome, the man on that play. Across the 21. Second and 7.
Three tight ends. Three tight ends in the game.
Mike threw it straight ahead and threw it out to the 24. So he came out throwing on the first play to Newsome. Then the run by Pruitt.
Passing down. Brennan going back in. To White Walker checking into the game. Here's a 64-yard attempt. Oh, well.
Oh, well. It's a good idea.
McDonald.
3rd and 4 at the 24. Shotgun. Looking for Dwight Walker, and it's overthrown. And Cleveland will punt it away.
John Simmons on the coverage for the Bengals. This is where Steve Cox needs another one of those booming punts. If he doesn't come up with a 50-yarder here, the Bengals are going to have good field position.
He has to watch his footing. He's looking down at the turf at that end. Picked up. Now Simmons at the 40. Simmons across midfield. Simmons inside the 40. Simmons, the man who recovered the blocked punt, is the man who returns the Cox punt all the way down into Cleveland territory. The Bengals in excellent position on a 24-yard return after just a 36-yard Cox punt.
You know, I think by dropping the ball, of course you don't do it intentionally, but I think what happened is that it actually set up his blocking patterns much better. There you see Steve Cox, last man, sort of sits down on the pile. Now, they don't need to go very far before they're going to be within field goal range.
First down at the 35. Out of the backfield is Brooks. Brooks across the 30, out of bounds at the 26 goes James Brooks. If you're just joining us, we're in the opening minutes of overtime at Cleveland Stadium, tied 17-17. The Bengals tied it with 1 second to go on a tackle-eligible pass to Anthony Munoz and a Jim Breach extra point. Cleveland won the toss, 3 plays in punt, a John Simmons punt return, and a James Brooks run of 9 yards, and Cincinnati's in business. 2nd and 1 at the 26.
I think they're going to keep it on the ground. They're going to be conservative.
Alexander fights close to a first down. And the clock is stopped to spot the ball. Keith Baldwin in on the tackle. And it's 3rd down. And it's also tied in Houston with 5 minutes remaining, 4th quarter. What a day it's been in the AFC Central. The 4 teams are tied at this moment on the scoreboard. Far from it in the standings. 3rd and 1 from the 26. Alexander fights for the first down. He's got it inside the 25. Tom Cousineau greets him there. There's Breach. He won it the last time these teams played with no time left in regulation. Will he win it here in overtime? The ball is spotted at the 23. First down as Breach warms up. It's Boomer Esiason because Turk Schonert is injured. Chris Collinsworth was injured on the first play of the game.
The running backs have to be aware that the Browns will be tackling the football.
And Alexander inside the 20. For an update now, let's go to NFL 80. Okay, thank you, Bill. Here in Cleveland, we've played 3 minutes of overtime. 2nd and 7 at the 20. I have to believe maybe Larry Kinnebrew is shaken up. We haven't seen him. It's been Charles Alexander here in the second half, Gene. There's Alexander again. And he gets to the 17, maybe the 16. Dave Pazzulli making the stop. I'd have to think that if the big guy Kinnebrew were healthy, he might be in there. He certainly had an ankle problem last week in his game, and maybe it's acted up on him here, and that's why Charles Alexander's the man.
The Bengals have been running this ball. I mean, they've been getting gains of 4 and 5 yards a clip here. It appears as though Cleveland's defense, you know, they're not going for the football. They're not aggressively attacking the ball, trying to take it away. I don't know. It's
3rd and 4 at the 17. Alexander stopped short of a first down. And now it's time for Jim Breach to try to win the game for the Cincinnati Bengals. Here he comes. He missed one with 4 seconds remaining in the first half. He hit a 22-yarder with 5:32 remaining in the fourth quarter. And now Breach will line it up, spot it at the 26. So this will be a 36-yard attempt to give Sam Weiss his 6th win of the year.
Look at the field. He's trying to pat it down a little bit, but Kreider's going to hold it.
From 36 yards to give the Bengals the victory in the Battle of Ohio.
And he does it!
The Cincinnati Bengals defeat the Cleveland Browns and end the playoff hopes for Cleveland and keep Cincinnati's hopes alive, winning it 20-17. A tackle-eligible play with 1 second to go in regulation, and now a 36-yard field goal by Jim Breach. So for the second time this year, his field goal beats the Cleveland Browns. Here's one more look. Jim Breach with Kreider holding it. Our final score, 20-17 Cincinnati in overtime. In a moment, we'll continue to review the action. And so at Cleveland Stadium, a blocked punt, a pass interference call, a tackle-eligible touchdown, an extra point with no time left, and a 36-yard field goal. 4 minutes and 34 seconds into overtime. The Bengals win the Battle of Ohio over Cleveland. Jim Breach does it.